music. He's like love, 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 and music. La la la, love, 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 and music. Love, love.
Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and as you can see, this is a story time. And I was gonna do, because if y'all haven't seen it yet, I did one. You know, when I used to take my sister's car, so I did the whole story time. And towards the end, I brought up, you know, saying I was carjacked before. I've been through crazy things, and I was like, wait, should I include this one on now? Or should I do a whole new one? So I'm just gonna do a whole new one. Tonight's lipstick is, I forgot. Oh, Hex, Urban Decay. So yeah, same what I've been doing in other videos. So story time. Okay, so I have never fully told this story simply because it is, one, it's embarrassing, and two, it's embarrassing, and three, it's some bullshit. So, I was working at a law firm. This is back in like 2003, 2004. And so I was making good money. So I decided to lease a car. It was the first time I leased a car. It was a 2005 Malibu. I loved that car. I loved that car. So, weird thing with the car. My one Malibu was stolen twice. I think it was karma for all the times I stole my sister's car, my parents' car, but whatever. So the first time the car was stolen, it was stolen from the front of the house, and they literally just took it around the corner. It was put on bricks, and they took my tires. It pissed me off. So got the car back and got the tires fixed. Cool, whatever. So later, dating this dude, we won't call him because it was not the bad guy. Hell, I'm gonna call him Sleepy. You know what I'm saying? It's Sleepy. So dating this dude named Sleepy, and he was older, and he was a person who had me digmatized. Let me say that. You know what I'm saying? We talked for such a long time, just too damn long. It was just stupid. Anywho, so we was kicking it or whatever, and I was in school. I was going to Everest Institute to be a medical administrative assistant. And I had my car. At that point in time, I was not working. I had lost my job, and I could not afford, with unemployment, I could not afford to pay the car note and car insurance. So I was just paying the car note because that's all I could afford. And I was in school so that I could get another job. Okay. So one night, Sleepy didn't have no car. I had a car. So, but because I wasn't working, my parents were helping me like with gas money or whatever like that. So I was like, hey, I'm finna go study at Linda House, my lion. And mind if you watching this, this is the first time I'm ever telling the story, the true story of what happened for me getting carjacked. So I said, Mom, I'm going to study. Took my books with me, but I was really going to see Meech. Damn it, I said his real name. Damn it. Well, whatever. Okay, whatever, Meech. I was going to see Meech. And because I ain't gonna do this over, but he, at the time, I think his baby mama lived. They lived together, but he was a cheater. I was stupid, and him and her had a whole crazy back and forth situation. Like, just truth be told, and so I went and picked him up. And we were hanging out, and we would do that all. Like, I would go get him, and we would just ride around and just talk. We had just started back talking. Matter of fact, we had lost touch for a minute, and we had kind of reconnected through his niece, who I'm friends with. I'm still friends with her to this day. And we had this connection that was stupid dumb. It was digmatization. It was digmatized. Whatever, everything. I was just totally confused. Okay, just totally just mind blown. Or whatever. He was the worst of the best of my past. And so yeah, we was hanging out, and I said, like, we wanted to, Mom, you watching right now, just cut it off. Okay, just cut it off and just stop right now. I'm telling you now, Mom, just stop. Okay, I'm giving her a chance to hit stop. Mom, you haven't hit stopped. I'm telling you now, we are not going to talk about this later. Okay, I don't want you to call me or FaceTime me and say, "Oh my God, Jay Lee." Don't do it. Anywho, so we wanted to go have sex. We could not go to my house at all. We could not go back to his house at all. But we wanted to have sex. So what do you do when you want to have sex? You have sex in public. You just have sex outside. We have sex in the car. So I said, I know the perfect place we can go where the police don't be around. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to get arrested. And it's real secluded. Went to the old neighborhood, where a area where the bad guy lived, because I knew the area. Everyone around there knew me. They knew the car because they knew of the bad guy, and they know that's the bad guy's ex's car, and we don't mess with her. We don't mess with him because he crazy, and it's gonna go down. So you know what I'm saying. Me and the dude. I'm gonna stop saying his name now. Me and him went to this parking lot by like a baseball field over there, and we were literally in the car, in the back seat, kissing and stuff. Like, we were not having sex yet, but we were kissing. Okay, we were kissing and hugging and feeling and stuff, and things were going on. Clothes were coming off. Things was going down, and I can honestly admit we had been to that location before. It wasn't nothing new. This is so much information. God, why did I start talking about this? So we in the back seat of the car, and before we got in the back seat, we were sitting there just talking or whatever, and we saw, it was a couple cars riding past. Nothing new. We saw a car. I think we saw a car ride past twice, and we didn't think nothing of it. We were sitting in the back seat. We didn't think nothing of it. So we got in the back seat or whatever. And this is how we figured out later that this is what they did. They would ride past a couple times, because I think people use that park to do things. Okay, so I think they knew that, so they just will ride by to see when they can catch them slipping. Okay, so they probably kept riding past and noticing they just in the front seat talking, whatever. When they rolled past, I guess the third time, we was not in the front seat anymore. We was in the back seat or whatever. But you could see the lights were still on, because we was in the car. So like the headlights and stuff was still on. Like, you can tell we was in the car. So the first thing we see is headlights in the parking lot. And so we panicked a little bit. I think he said he looked up and saw the lights first, and he said, "Oh shit." But we thought it was the police. It was not the police. It was carjackers. So literally, it was a white guy and a black guy. And the white guy was on my side. The black guy was on his side. They opened up both doors, gun in face. "Get out the car." And I'm like, the fuck is on? Like, I was confused. Like, I was completely confused. Did not even register that we were getting carjacked. I was like, okay, the police pulled up on us, and this is the police getting us out the car. And it wasn't until I saw, oh, they in street clothes for one. It ain't a cop car for two. And it was just going so fast. I'm like, oh shit, we really being carjacked. Now at this point, I don't have a shirt on or a bra on. I have my pants on, and I have my socks on. My shoes were in the front seat. He also didn't have a shirt on. And I think he had like one boot on. I don't know why he had one Yeah, well, Woodward. And it happened so fast to where I was like, my keys is in the front seat, my purse is in the front seat, my shoes in the front seat. I just need my stuff. And I kept saying, like, can I just get my stuff? Can I get my stuff? And it was like, nah, bitch. I'm like, why I gotta be a bitch? Why I gotta be a bitch? You taking my car. And the black guy ran back to their car. The white guy was in the passenger seat of my car. And I remember trying to open the door the whole time. I was just trying to open the fucking door. And they just pulled off. And we were left in this parking lot of a baseball field. About 5 blocks from the bad guy's house. Okay? And the guy I was with didn't do shit. He was standing there. I don't know if he was just shell shocked because they had guns. I don't know what it was. But ever since that day, I've always felt like you could have did more. But I'm like, is that true? Because, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. So at this point, he's shell shocked. I'm pissed. Like, what the fuck we gonna do? I say we gotta walk to the block of where the bad guy stayed and go to my friend's house. So he also knew, because I met him through her too. Okay, I met all kind of guys through her. We walking to my friend's house. I'm holding my breast because I don't have on a shirt or a bra. He doesn't have on a shirt. He has one boot. Luckily, I had socks on. And we had to walk the 5 or 6 blocks to her house. And knock on the door. And again, it's like midnight. Maybe even 1 o'clock in the morning. But I'm like, they always up, so there's no issue. And her mom opened the door. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, we just got carjacked around the corner at the park. So they let us in. You know, my friend wake up. She's shocked because she gave me, a top to put on. The guy I'm with the whole time, he ain't said shit. He's sitting there. And I'm like, he probably pissed off because he has to go home and explain why he coming home with one shoe and no clothes to his baby mama. And again, I don't suggest you sleep with people who have baby mamas. It was a grave mistake. That's a whole other video. At this point, I'm like, the bad guy gonna freak out because I have to tell him. Because even at this point, and even though me and him are not together, he still is a part of my life. And when things happen, I tell him, and he has to know. We have a very strange relationship. We had a very strange relationship. So I said, friend, you have to drive. We have to take him home. Like, he can't be here when I call the police and the bad guy find out. I think I did call the police first. They took my statement, took his statement, and because the people had guns, like, cops came out. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. So APB out for the car, all that stuff. The cops left. So, come later, they do a report, all those other things. So at this point, I'm like, okay, we got to take him home because once I call the bad guy, he can't be here. So we get up, take him home. He never said shit at all because, again, I think he worried about his baby mama. I didn't care at that point. We get back to her house and I call the bad guy and I'm like, I got carjacked. And he was like, what? Where you at? What? I'm like, I'm across the street. He was like, why you over there? What? And I'm like, I was at the park. I was at the park talking or something. I said, I'm finna come over there. So he came across the street and he knew I was lying because when he walked in, he knew I had on a shirt that wasn't mine. He know my wardrobe. He knew so he was like, why you got on her shirt? I'm like, oh, when they pulled me out the car, like, my shirt ripped, so I changed shirts here. He knew I was lying, but he didn't say much. He was like, what did it look like? So I described him or whatever, and he was like, get in the car, let's go. So I'm like, oh, crap. So in the car, he was pissed off at me because he was like, I know what you're telling me is the truth. He like, I know you probably got carjacked over there with some fuck nigga, and you know what I'm saying, he couldn't do shit, and he put your life in, you know what I'm saying, he didn't think I was lying about getting carjacked. He said, he's like, I know you got carjacked because your car's gone. He said, but you was with a dude who didn't do shit. You was with a fuck nigga is what he said. He like, and I'm pissed off about that because if you with someone, they supposed to protect you even if I'm not around. So he was more pissed at the fact that the guy I was with did not do shit than the fact that he knew you was, because he knew the park and what people do at the park. He knew, you know what I'm saying? He knew. But I'm like, I just could not bear to say, because I'm like, that'd be making me even more mad, and I don't want, anything to go on. So he took me home, and I woke my parents up and said, I got carjacked. And when they kept asking me what happened, I had a whole fake story. Well, I was on my way home from Linda House, and I stopped at a red light. No, I pulled over. I said I pulled over on this street because I wanted a cigarette. So I said something like I wanted a cigarette, and my lighter fell. So I pulled over, put my car in park to grab my lighter that fell, because I smoked cigarettes at the time. I pulled over to grab my lighter that fell, and when I put my car in park, my doors unlocked automatically, and I ain't think about it because I was in the neighborhood, and I'm like, I was only put over for like a minute or two, get my cigarette, getting a lighter or whatever, and they out the blue came and snatched. I had a whole lie, and for years, I stuck to that lie, because I'm like, who wants to admit they got carjacked because they was with some guy who had a baby mama he was living with, and they wanted to have sex in the car? Carjacked at gunpoint because I wanted to have sex in the car. So when I tell y'all I have lived through things, that I have done things that I am and am not proud of, it's true. And even the guy who had a baby mama, it wasn't like me and him had been together before. He was literally an ex, and me and baby mama did not get along. We constantly argued and had verbal altercations, and one violent fight. And I think, that we was fighting over him for years. It was stupid. I mean, most of the time, I was the winner of the fights, because I was always the one around and she wasn't. But at the end of the day, she won, because eventually, like 4 or 5 years after all this foolishness, I kind of told him I was done with him, so we stopped talking. And he had called me, was like, I want to take you on a date. Oh, okay. And we went out. He took me to the movies, out to eat. It was a cool night. And then the following day, he called me at work. And he was like, oh, well, just let you know, me and so-and-so is getting married, and I want to tell you who's getting married. And I was like, bitch, you took me on a date yesterday. Like, why wouldn't you tell me this yesterday? And I was like, see, this is the exact reason why I stopped fucking with you. And so, but I was kind of like, at that point, I'll say she won in the end. But at the same time, he only married her because I stopped messing with her. Like, I got tired of it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like once I got carjacked with him in the car, that should have been my bitch stop moment. But I, was young and dumb, a little bit more time, a little later. And, it was a full-fledged crazy situation. So, yeah, when I tell y'all, when I comment on stuff, it's from knowledge, baby. It is from knowledge. And the years that I was with the bad guy and the years that I was with this guy, so many lessons. That's why I tell you, I was very dumb in my early 20s. Like, stupid. No, I was dumb in my 20s. Okay, let's make that clear. Dumb as fuck in my 20s. And it wasn't until I was like 27, 28 that I just let all of that go. I let them both fully the fuck go. And yeah, there'll be times where I would have a birthday party that was both there. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But yeah, that's my true tea, I was carjacked story, I messed with a guy who had a girlfriend, with baby mama, because they weren't really together. It was a mess. It was a full-fledged mess. But you know what I'm saying? I learned from it. I learned, again, how to respect myself and how not to put up with the guy who just got you all confused with dick and whatever. And, you know, but I say all the time, it's better to be dumb in your 20s than to be stupid in your 30s. Like, I tell my friends all the time, we too old to be stupid. Like, nobody can get anything past me at all now because I've lived it. I've completely lived it, and I've lived through cheating, people having babies, abuse. I think the only thing I ain't had to deal with was STDs. Thank God. But, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this true tea. I laugh about it now. Did not laugh about it then. And I learned my damn lessons. So, I am Jay Lee. It is 4:42 in the morning. Good night, people. Peace.